welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for tuning in. I promised you guys a do-it-yourself recipe on how to make your own sunscreen. So let's get to it. I'll meet you in my kitchen. Hey guys, welcome back to my kitchen. Let's dive right on in on how to make your own sunscreen. So first thing is what I have on the stove right now is I have kind of my own double boiler and I am melting together equal parts coconut oil and equal parts shea butter. So the reason why coconut oil is really important in this recipe is that you need some sort of carrier oil. So what essentially that means is it's just the oil that all the ingredients are kind of binding to and what allows it to sit on your skin. I have heard people say that they use almond oil, and apparently it works great. I just use coconut oil because, as I've said before, I love when ingredients in my recipes are multi-purpose. So I use coconut oil as my moisturizer. I use coconut oil in my toothpaste. It's my makeup remover. It just kind of made sense when I was going to make my own sunscreen that I would use coconut oil. And then shea butter is also multi-purpose and it's wonderful because it's super moisturizing. So I think the big thing is when you're out in the sun, you kind of get really dry skin, especially if it's in a dry heat. So having something in your sunscreen that really is going to lock in moisture is awesome. Shea butter is that element in my recipe. And as far as being multi-purpose, if you ever want to make your own homemade body butter, shea butter is wonderful. Just whip it up and add in some essential oils and you're good to go. So I'm gonna talk, but I'm also gonna stir this to make sure that it melts nicely. But the other ingredient and the most important ingredient in this sunscreen is actually zinc oxide. I don't know if you guys, because I was showing you the wrong end. Zinc oxide. So a lot of times, as I just said, I want the ingredients in my recipes to be multi-purpose. Zinc oxide is kind of the one exception that I have. And zinc oxide is really, you're only ever going to use it as a sun protector. But for me, I think having a solid sunscreen and feeling that you're protected from the sun is an important enough reason to have a one purpose ingredient. Now, really quickly about zinc oxide is it's not actually naturally formed. The way zinc oxide is created is zinc is chemically heated with oxygen molecules, and then the two elements are formed and condensed into a powder. But what makes zinc really wonderful, and it's kind of this key element in the physical sunscreen, which if you remember from my other video, if you don't worry, I'll post the link in the description below so you can learn all about the difference between physical and chemical sunscreen. But zinc allows you to create a physical sunscreen, and it offers broad range protection against both UVA and UVB rays, right? So you want to make sure that you're protected from both of those rays when you have a sunscreen. And not only is it this wonderful sun protector, but it also has these wonderful other properties where it's shown to be to help reduce inflammation in the skin, and it's also shown to help with anti-aging properties, and it also helps with acne. So in general, it's just really awesome skincare product. And the last thing that I like to put, just because I like the way it smells, is I like to put lavender oil in it a little, just to make it smell nice. You don't have to. If you want to do lemon oil or some other essential oil, that's cool too. But really, you just need the three main ingredients: some sort of carrier oil, I use coconut oil, shea butter, and zinc oxide. To my little science experiment over here, what I'm doing in this creative double boiler that I have made is I am mixing equal parts coconut oil and shea butter. Now, y'all know me, I don't really measure, but equal parts of the carrier oil and shea butter, and you're just gonna melt it down really nicely. I've never tried to melt them together in the microwave. I think doing it on the stove has worked fine for me, and it allows me to stir the concoction and make sure all the lumps are out. But if you do try it in the microwave and you are successful, let me know in the comments below. And if you try it in the microwave and you're not successful, also still let me know in the comments below because I'd love to hear that story. Awesome, so this looks pretty good. So then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna very carefully just take the bowl off. And now you're going to want to add your zinc oxide. And I know that I say I don't ever measure anything. I do try to measure the zinc oxide just so I understand how much I'm putting in. So when I was putting in the shea butter and the coconut oil just now, I was using about 1/4 cup each. So I'm going to put in about 1.5 tablespoons of zinc oxide. Before I do that, let me show you the consistency of the oil. So it just looks like oil. Yep, just looks like oil. And I'm now going to put in 1.5 tablespoons of zinc oxide into it. This is going to be 1, And we'll measure out like, no, kind of looks like half. I don't know. Throw that in. Mix that all up together. There we go. And then I'm going to add some lavender oil, make it smell quite nice. All right. Now you really need to stir it because the zinc oxide will get clumpy. So give it some time, stir it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put it in whatever bottle you want to use, and you're going to walk away and you're going to let it sit up, okay? So I have this bottle. This was some that I made maybe a week ago, and you're just going to let it sit. So really quickly, let's talk about the consistency that you're looking for. Because it is coconut oil and because shea butter is quite soft, your consistency is going to change just depending on the temperature that you're in. So a lot of times in my home when I'm putting it on, it's more solid because my home, it's summer right now and we have the central air on and it's quite cool. But if I ever take I have a little container that I fill up to take with me whenever I go out. And if it's warm outside, I open the container and it does become more liquid. I wouldn't worry about it. That's completely normal. That's natural. It does not affect the protection that it's going to give you. Just be aware that if you do take it outside with you, that whatever container you put it in is easily able to tightly seal because you don't want this leaking all over you. And the one last thing I will say is it's normal for it to, when you put on, it's going to give you a little bit of a little white sheen at first, but I've noticed that within I put it on my face and then by the time I'm out the door, within a couple of minutes, the white sheen is completely gone. So that is my recipe to how to make your own sunscreen. If you try it, let me know what you think. Let me know if you've added anything, if you've tried a different carrier oil besides coconut oil, if you've tried different scents besides lavender. I'd love to hear your feedback. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye.